بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين. صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And an even bigger assalamu alaikum to Haji Abdul Majid Sahab. Nice to see you. We're very happy to see you. Alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you full shifa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you happy, inshallah. When we look at our deen is already so perfect. Our deen has everything which is needed for a person to be successful. Every single thing that we have is through the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown His mercy on us by giving us so much. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showing each and every one of us that, oh my servant, I love you and I want you to love me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to us Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beautiful of men in every single way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ, that verily it is His akhlaq and characteristics which is the best. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to be a role model for us so that we can follow in his footsteps and be successful. Today I just want to speak about Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You know, not many times do we ever sit and think about who Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam exactly was, what did he do, and what was his life all about. You know, for 40 years he was not a prophet. What happened all that time? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was known as Al-Amin, As-Sadiq. He was the truthful one. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would never lie to anyone. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was the one that the people, they would trust him with their wealth. They would trust him with the wealth. They would all go to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and say, can you look after my wealth for me? Even at the time of Hijrah, when, you know, we all know the story that Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu was in the bed of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All of the mushrikeen, they thought that they were going to capture Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But when they opened up the bed, they saw it was Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And the narrations, they mentioned that the only reason why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam left Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu there was so that the people would not think that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has gone away with our money. He left Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu there so that Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu would give the money to anyone who the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam who is looking after their money. But all those people, not once did they think that, no, let's go and ask for our money. Even though Nabi sallallahu they had the utmost respect for Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a man, what they did not like was his message. This was what they did not like. The message that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was teaching, this is what they did not want to associate themselves with. But when it came to the respect, when it came to the truthfulness and how his character was, there was no better man than Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It has been mentioned about Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in so many places that how he was, how he would treat people. Whenever anybody would wrong him, he would never go against them. He would never go to look for revenge. Today when somebody wrongs us, we look at, oh, how am I going to get back to that person? How am I going to get my revenge? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam never took revenge on anybody. It has been mentioned that Hazrat Anas radiallahu ta'ala, and he mentions that I was with Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam for 10 years. 10 years I stayed with him as a servant. Not once did he even ever say oof to me. Not once did he ever say oof. Not once did he say that why did you do this or why did you not do that. Today every single opportunity that we get, somebody wrongs us, why did you do this and why did you do that. Another thing which happens in our culture as elders, that whenever because we are the elder ones, so we always give a hukam command to the youngsters, that go and do this for me, go and do that for me. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was such. Imagine, he's the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he would do everything himself. Every single thing, if he had the ability to do it, he would do it himself. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam he would sew his own clothes. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would fix his own shoes and sandals. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would go and he would milk the sheep and the cow and everything. Everything was done by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he came into this world for what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as a mercy for mankind. You know, upon occasion, all the time, whenever Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, whenever the mushrikeen, they would do something to him, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they would ask that, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that why do you not just make a bad dua for these people? That why don't you just make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to punish them? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's answer was so beautiful. He said, I have not been sent to the people as one who punishes, but I have been sent as a mercy to mankind. My job is to try and bring as many people towards the message. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is not the one who would give hidayah. His job was just to bring people towards the right path. Hidayah is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As well, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen hidayah for such a person, only then can that person be guided. It has been mentioned about Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that he would, whenever he would be sitting in a gathering, if a stranger was to come in, no, they would not even be able to tell which one was Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Think about Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he is the Prophet, he is the Messenger of Allah, he is the King of the Ummah. And he would sit with the common folk, and he would sit like normally. He wouldn't be sitting on a high place. He would be sitting in the gathering and no one would know which one is the Prophet. This was Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today when we look at the leaders of the people, when we look at all the leaders around the world, we can tell this person, he is in the highest seat. He has the biggest mansion, he has the best cars. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would do everything for himself. This is the role model that we have. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the one that we have to try and follow. If we follow Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then only can we be successful. If we follow anybody else, then the chance of success become very less. Because this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him into this world. There are so many things that we can look at, so many aspects of the life of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Once he was sitting with Hazrat Hassan and Hazrat Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhum, his beloved grandsons. And Hazrat Hussein radiallahu anhu, he had a stutter. He had a stutter. He was not able to speak as much flowingly as he wanted. So once they were sitting in a gathering and he's trying to speak. His words are not coming out. So he's in a big gathering and people are listening. And what happens is that the people who are sitting, all the other companions, they are looking around. And they're looking at one another that he is not being able to speak properly. And then they look towards the beloved face, the beautiful face of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he's just smiling. He's just smiling. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is not saying to him that hurry up, say what you want to say. He's just waiting for him. It doesn't matter if it's going to take him 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long it was going to take for him to finish his sentence. He sat there and he listened. And after, when he had finally finished saying what he wanted to say, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that he has got the sunnah of his uncle, of his granddad, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam had a stutter, and Hazrat Hussein radiallahu anh has a stutter as well. And this is how Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was as a person. Whenever Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would speak to someone, when he would shake their hands, he would keep his hand there until that first person, he moved his hand away. He would always keep his hand there. And he would not turn away from a person until that person made the first move. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made each and every single person feel like they were the most important person. Today, when we compare it with us, how are we with the people in our lives? How are we with our family members, our work colleagues, our friends? How do we treat them? This is a question that we have to ask ourselves. The reason why today our ummah is getting slapped left, right and center is because we have left the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Instead of always thinking, me, I want this for myself, I want that for myself, the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was such that what can I do to help others? What can I do to help others? Each and every sahabi had this quality inside them. How can I go and help my brother? What can I do for my brother to help them? And today, each and every one of us, we say, my rights. This is what I am supposed to get. Instead of, how can I go and help my brother? How can I go and help my friends? These are the things that we have to bring into our life. This is what makes us a proper ummati of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he wanted this for us. This is what we have to look at, that if I truly want to be successful, I have to look at the life of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I have to think about what I want. If I want to be successful, then these are the footsteps that I have to follow. There was once a sahabi named Hazrat Bashir radiallahu anhu, and he went for jihad in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what used to happen was, when the caravans, when the news would come that the people are coming back, all the family members, they would gather together to see that their father's coming. So all the children would come, all the wives, they would all come and wait. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he would be right at the back. He would be right at the back of the army. He would be the last one, like a shepherd. He was behind all of his sheep. So all of the ummatis, they would be the sheep, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would be in the back. So when the people would see that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was at the back, they would know, okay, there are no more men coming. So Hazrat Bashir radiallahu anhu, his son, he was waiting. He was waiting for his father. So every time somebody would come and he'd ask, have you seen my father? He said, no, I haven't seen him. Have you seen my father? He would ask everybody. He's patiently waiting for his dad to come back. And when he finally saw Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam coming, he got sad. He goes, that it looks like my dad is not coming back. So when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw him, he came to him and he asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, where is my father? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him that your father passed away. He said, oh, that your father passed away. But he said, how would you like it that I become your father and Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha become your mother? He got very happy. This Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he thought that what can I do to make this young boy feel happy? What can I do? And this is what he did. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not just treat the Muslims with love, but even those that were not Muslims. And the one who Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he treated the Ra'is al-Munafiqeen, Hazrat Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. He was the biggest munafiq. He would go out and he would preach that like he is a Muslim, but behind the backs of the Muslims, he would say the worst of things. And what happened was his father passed away. His father passed away. Nabi sallallahu alayhi, and he came to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he said to him that my father has passed away, I am worried about him. Now this is the biggest munafiq of the whole of Mecca, and he is coming and saying to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam could have easily pushed him away, and he could have said to him that, on you go. You are the worst of us. I'm not going to help you. But no, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he took off his Mubarak shirt and he gave it to him. He said, wrap your father in this. What would any of us do for the shirt of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? This is how Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam treated his enemies. This is what we have to bring into our life. That each and every one of us, we have to treat one another with love and respect. That what can I do to help my brothers? What can I do to help my family members? Instead of thinking about myself, I need to think, how can I help somebody else? When I help somebody else, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send another person to help me. This is how it works. Imagine if each and every one of us had the mindset that I am going to help somebody else. Of course somebody is going to come and help you then, because you have that. So when a person makes that right intention, when he thinks that I want to be successful in the way. I want to follow the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Only then can he be successful. You know, when we look into history, when we look at the historians, what have they said about Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Each and every one of them, they have sat down and they came up with the idea, we want to make a list. We want to make a list of the top 100 people who have been the most influential in the world. And each and every one of them have put Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at the top. Each and every one of them. Why? Because after the age of 40, when prophethood was given to him, he was not only a father, he was not only a husband, but he was the leader, he was an imam, he was everything that he possibly had to do. When we look at the lifestyle of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that during the days he would be teaching, he would be out going for jihad, he would be helping out every single person that he could. And what would he do at night? Would he be snoring in his bed? No. He would be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making dua for this ummah. Imagine that this man who has not met any of us, he would stand up on his musalla during the night and he would make dua for us. He would ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And such a man who was not even able to commit a sin. No sins ever committed by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she asked Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, that you have all of your past and future sins have been forgiven. Why do you stand for so long in worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He said, should I not be grateful to my Lord that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with so much? And what was that so much? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wasn't lying on the ground. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he comes in and he says that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he got up and he saw the marks of the mat that he was sleeping on. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is up at the night and he is saying, should I not be grateful to my Lord for everything that he has given me? He's waking up and he has marks on his back. And he is saying that, should I not be grateful? Today, think of how much do we have. Look at the quality of mattresses that we sleep on. Look at the roofs that we have over our head. There was days, so many days and weeks that the oven, that the fire in the house of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would not go on. He would not have food in his house for 2-3 days. And here we are today eating every single day. How many meals a day? How much has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given us? How much has we been blessed with? We have to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If we are grateful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us so much more. This is what we have to do. This is the role model that we have. This is a role model that we have. This is what we have to look at. That Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has given us so. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has taught us how to live our lives. Everything that has come to us is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we truly want to be successful, if we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with us, then we have to follow the sunnahs of His beloved sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The day of Jummah is that day when we should try and do as much durood as possible. It's very important that this is the day that when we send durood, that this durood that we recite, it goes straight to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There is an angel which has been appointed and he takes this salam of ours and he puts it to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he says that, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, such and such a person who is the son of this person, he has said salam to you. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives salam back. And a person who constantly and continually will send as much durood as possible on the day of judgment when we meet, inshallah, when we see Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he will say to us that, oh my ummati, I remembered you. You used to always send durood upon me. I remember your name. But the question is, how many of us do this? How many of us send durood upon Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So why not, shall we just sit right now and we will read Durood Ibrahim right now. Everybody join in. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in a hadith, Man salla alayya wahidatan sallallahu alayhi biha ashra. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, whoever sends one durood upon Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi ashra, Nabi sallallahu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate the person of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will give the person 10 rewards. Not only that, but his rank will be elevated by 10 as well. This is what happens when we remember Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And what does it cost? It costs nothing at all. Just a slight movement of the tongue. And then on the day of judgment, this tongue, it will be a witness for us. That, Ya Allah, this person, he used to remember your beloved Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Not only that, but these walls and this carpet, everything that is around here, they will be a witness for us as well. Imagine, whenever we are driving in the car, we are reciting durood, all the pieces of land, all the trees, they will all be a witness for us. That, Ya Allah, this person, he used to remember you. He used to remember you and he used to remember your Nabi. This is what we have to look at. You know, it doesn't cost anything to do dhikr. But how often do we do it? And these are the things which will save us on the day of judgment. These are the things which will make us be successful. We want to try our best. We want to, you know, each and every one of us want to go to Jannah. But how many of us are actually trying? You know, each and every one of us, we want to have a nice big house and the best car. And because of us wanting that, we go out and we work hard. So if you really want to attain Jannah, then we have to work hard for the Akhirah. The way of working hard for the Akhirah is to act upon the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to follow the footsteps of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us the ability to try and look into the life of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to try and bring his sunnahs into our life. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. You can just wait for the adhan to be called out.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.